Welcome to the Pump and Dump channel. Today I'm to talk about European work culture and the give back and experience I had at one of my previous employers. So the situation was kind of like this. I was disgruntled, the worker, let's say, because I was not happy with the pay I was receiving for the work I was giving. And we had a very stressful time at work because of a high workload. The trainings were crappy, and basically what it came down to is my manager was expecting more from me, and I was explaining that I was already at the max. I was doing like 3 or 4 times as much as other colleagues in our team. And I said that, in terms of equal pay for equal work, I would expect my pay to go up to account for the extra work I'm doing as compared to them. But this is kind of, in European work culture, it's kind of frowned upon that you ask for more money for doing more work, because we have this system, these collective bargaining agreements that say that anybody in the same class gets the same amount of money regardless of how productive they actually are. So we had this diverging expectations from the future, what we expected to see happening, and I was at that point where I didn't care anymore. When I had finished my work, my part of the workload, I didn't care about helping others anymore. Do the workload faster, because they were kind of relaxed, and I was like working more at a more fast pace, let's say. So instead of getting involved and trying to get all the work done faster and effectively, doing 3 times as much as other people, I just started reading the news instead to fill my time. So one day we got this email, and this is kind of what the video is about, from one of our clients. And that client was set to leave us within a time frame of about 6 months or so. And the client was asking about a dividend that was not factored into the valuation of one of the funds. And they were leaving us, and this is kind of important because the ETFs and funds that they were managing were, let's say, melting really badly, and they needed to save some money, so they factored in that changing the service provider for the accounting and so on would lead to a cost saving, and that would improve their financial performance. So they were leaving us to save a bit of money with another service provider. And we had a meeting with the head of department explaining this to us previously, and he said that even though they were leaving us, we had to keep honoring our service agreement with them and keep giving them the same level of service as we had been giving previously. Now, after the email we received, he didn't get any reply. The second day we got a reminder, and one of the more junior colleagues came to me and asked me what we should answer to this, and I said we don't have the authorization to answer because it's the manager's role to take care of client communication. So this is, the manager has to answer this email. And on that day I said, like, what we can do is we can flag with the manager in case he hasn't seen it, so he will see it and then he should answer. So we flagged it. The third day came another reminder, and at that point the junior colleague of mine, she was like getting really frantic and like, this is, we need to answer this, someone needs to answer this. And I said, there's nothing we can do. I said, like, you can go and ask the manager when he's going to reply, but that's all we can do. And she went to ask him and he waved her off like, yeah, I'll take care of it. And on the fourth day we received another email from our dear client, and it was a rant, yelling kind of at us, like just in a really, really bad tone, that from us not replying to them was clearly showing that we didn't care about our clients, individual clients, because we are a big financial institution and blah blah blah. And it was just having a rant, and it was really funny. The head of the department came onto the floor to the manager to ask what was happening, why he didn't receive an answer, and in the end they figured it out. But the truth was, the manager of ours, he was really preoccupied with his side chick and trying to hide his secret meetings with her from his wife, who was working on the floor next to us. And I said at that point in time, after that happened to one of my colleagues who was working with me, I said, you know what, this can really have its benefits, this crisis, because if that client is really annoyed with us, they might leave earlier, and then we don't have to take care of the servicing agreement anymore, and then we have less work and we can have more work for the other clients, and then the workload is reduced, and that's a benefit for us. And I said, nobody's going to be negatively impacted. I mean, the people who own our company's stock, they're going to be not impacted, because 99% of the financial assets are owned by 1% of the population, and they probably own the shares in the other company that they're going to be moving to, so they won't care either. So ultimately what it comes down to is, I said that, you know, this whole thing, it was nothing to worry about. And the junior colleague, she was getting really, you know, she was getting really frantic about it, and she was getting really stressed, and I was like trying to explain to her that there's no need to stress about this you know, this, who cares, it doesn't matter. Because of course she was, you know, she thought we need to give the client an answer immediately, as quickly as possible, and, you know, give them good service. But I'm like explaining that in the end of the you know, in the end game, it doesn't really make any impact. And to kind of bring it home, I recorded a clip that I played back to one of my colleagues that kind of explained this, and at that point my colleague kind of agreed and said like, yeah, that makes total sense. And it's in a bit of more sarcastic, devilish tone, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
It has happened to all of us. The client needs an urgent report, but you don't feel like doing the extra work. Maybe you don't know how to do the work because you were not properly trained or had something to do that was more important, like read the news. It can always happen that a client needs a report urgently, but that is not your problem. You didn't negotiate the contract. Let the salesman get him that report. And even if the client cancels the servicing agreement with your company because of it, the shareholders of your company won't care. They probably own the other company too that the client will do its business with. So let the client sweat and send reminders. Won't it be better for your team to thank you later for easing the workload? Hey, I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know.
So yeah, that's kind of where it's at. Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. Let me know if you like that. Leave a thumbs up or thumbs down if you liked it or didn't like it, and have a good day.